Hey, this is Trolls from ATO, and today we're going to be taking a look at our new Wrenchenspiel. The Wrenchenspiel is made of 31 different wrenches. This is an actual picture of it here, which is a part of the UI. We were fortunate enough to gather a bunch of different type of wrenches and then slightly modify them. The amazing thing about a wrench is that, and you wouldn't really believe this looking at it, that it actually has a surprisingly good tone. But in order to get that out, you kind of need to suspend it a bit. So all the different wrenches here are suspended on felt. And if you look very close, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look closely here, you can see there are small carvings in the wrenches, and that was actually to tune them individually. The instrument is pitch perfect. It barely contains any tuning, so it's kind of interesting that you have this massive array of wrenches that can sustain themselves up to 10 seconds under the right conditions. So very interesting. We also have 18 different core patches here, and each of them are actually made from individual sample sessions. So you're going to find a variety of really soft mallet articulations to more extreme stuff where we electrocuted and did a variety of different experiments to the Wrenchenspiel. But I'll go through those patches and we'll take a listen to them. In addition, we also have our Wrenchen, which is a step-based sequencer or an arpeggiator, more or less. And it's very simple. Up here, you got Wrenchen rate, which is how fast you want it to play. You got our Wrenchen swinger. I'm not really into the whole swinging thing, but for people that like it, it's certainly worth it. And this is the actual sequencer, and it's actually velocity based. If you most of our programs have velocities in them, and if you adjust it here, you can actually create like da 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 da. So you can create these different kind of elaborate rhythms by sculpting in here. And then of course you also have a variety of different ways of triggering the arpeggiator. We also have our effects like we normally have from all our libraries. You can turn all the effects on manually. I'll try to do that a little later. We got our more sort of advanced sound designy convolution reverb, and we also have our more conventional space with more traditional reverbs that can be triggered. The yellow key switch down here is actually interesting because they can trigger all these things live, and I'll try to demonstrate that as well. But let's get into it. The first articulation here is not pretty much just regular sustains. Played with a somewhat soft mallet of the lovely Wrenchenspiel. Kind of interesting, very soft. I think one of the things we really tried to pay attention to was to get the most beauty out of it. In some of the articulations, you're going to hear some more extreme ones. We also try to do sort of a more muted version of it. And of course, all these articulations have round robin. You can also see, if you look closely here at the wrenches, like up here maybe, that they're sort of softly touching each other. We tried to, we modified it a bit, so we got specific articulations where we also got rattles where they're slightly, ever so softly touching each other, and it creates sort of a more interesting rattle kind of sound to it. You can that type of sound. One of the things I've learned over time is when you're recording tonal percussion, and especially metal-based tonal percussion, that the worst thing you could do is to hit metal with metal. We tried a variety of different things that did not work out very well from, for example, metal-based mallets. But one of the experiments that turned out very interesting was to use the tip of a big nail and sort of hit it softly out here on the edges of the wrenches. And the best way to describe it is sort of a modified Glockenspiel. This is Probably the closest Harry Potter would ever get to something remotely like a wrench. It's not a very soft kind of thing. Of course, we also got into the more ugly realm. We have a variety of different articulations that are more percussive. This one was made. We played with regular drumsticks on the wonderful Wrenchenspiel. I'm going to turn on the step sequence with this one because it's actually also, like most other things, velocity based, but it's not the prettiest thing. So I'm going to try to make it a little prettier with this Wrenchenquenzer. You can sort of hear like that articulated sound on these ones where they're very high. Let me try to turn on a couple of effects and see what happens. Let's scream, lo-fi, and delayed. Maybe put a fuzz on it as well. Let's go back, see what happens. Alright, that may not be the prettiest thing I've ever done. Let me turn these guys off again. Let's see here. And again, you can also control all these down here on the effects bar. I'll come back to that. Let's turn this guy off as well. We've also experimenting with creating different types of more electrocuted versions by running electricity through these guys and connect them to different other rattling types of materials. Here's one version of that, and this one is a little more subtle. There's some more extreme ones later. Here's another one, a little more extreme. This is a hammer. As I said at the beginning, it doesn't always yield the best results to put metal on metal. So for the sake of Sandy, let's try to put the beloved Wrenchenquenzer on again, and let's see what happens. That's not so bad. You can do a lot of things. Like I'm barely getting into this part of it here, but there's a lot to cover in this library. Anyway, here's a tremolo as well. Very soft and ethereal. I think it's cool. I think that one is interesting. We have another one down here as well, mirrored, which is also more ambient and textural. Of course, as is mandated for any Wrenchenspiel library, you have to record different types of trills as well. It's funny. that last one I can start hear that is rattling against the wood. And I was so tired when we were recording. I was spazzing in my arms. I was hitting wrong all the time. The notes get gradually worse as they go up. Very pretty. We also got some more like gliss type of stuff. That's right, we got pentatonic scales on it. Check this one out. This is the nasty buzz, like full electrocution of the Wrenchenspiel. You can hear that nasty, nasty buzz in it. It's kind of an interesting, interesting sound. Almost like Morricone-ish Western type of sound. Check this one out. This is reversing some of the sounds and manipulating them a little bit. Sort of very soft and ambient. One of the really cool things about this is that we did a couple of modified patches. You got a Hammond down here as well, but we sort of tried to recreate an old Rhodes sound, Rhodes, and I actually think it's not too bad. Of course, it's not the same, but keep in mind that this is made with wrenches. Let's try. I mean, that's a wrench. I also, let me get started here. I also created a very, very small mini composition just using a couple of different wrenches. Here, this is the nail articulation and one of the rattles and more wine glass stuff and the mirrored ambient patch. And then I also layered it a little bit with our upcoming Adagio violas, which to me is one of the best instruments we've ever done. It's just so beautiful. I guess I should also just briefly show how to use the live effects down here. Essentially, these are key switches that controls all the different effects panels in here in real time. So instead of clicking here, you can just trigger it. And I'm going to try to play a little bit, and then I'm also just in the end going to try to trigger all the effects. One of the great things is that you can actually play all of the effects at the very same time. So you can go pretty crazy with it. Yeah, so this is the Wrenchenspiel. Check it out at 8do.com, and thank you for watching.